So this is my much requested morning routine video, and it is bare bones, exactly how I do it in the morning, and nothing is dressed up. And as you can see, I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning because it's extremely early and cold, and that's my little way of being extra. I start my morning with Bible. Every morning it's my first glass ball priority, and it is a priority that I never miss. The second priority is blogging. I will spend a couple of hours writing emails, writing new blog posts, making new YouTube transcripts, all of those things, all the fun things that no one likes to do. I get them done first thing in the morning. Today it is a Wednesday, which means that it is William's turn to cook breakfast for the family. My 2 elder boys do 2 mornings each, and that means that I am able to step away from the kitchen and away from the breakfast duties this early in the morning and leave them to him. So I'm going to get ready for the day, make my bed, clean my room, and hopefully I will get a cardio workout in this morning. Another glass ball priority of mine is making my bed. It never used to be, but I just feel so cluttered and chaotic if I don't have my bed made, if I'm walking into my room during the day and just seeing a mess. So I make that another priority to clean my room, make my bed, and just feel on top of things. And sometimes the rest of the house can be complete chaos, but my bed is made and it makes me feel like I can have a little bit of control of a small area, even on a bad day. So this morning I have already read my Bible, which is my first glass ball priority. I have blogged for around 2.5 hours, ticking off all the major things on my to-do list. And now the rest of the children are up. They're enjoying a hot cup of cocoa while they are waiting for their breakfast to be served. And if you are a mum with kids who are able to cook from the ages of around 8 onwards, my youngest cook in the house is 8, I really encourage you to do so. It is hard at first and it's time consuming, it's patience trying and time consuming to be teaching a young one to cook. There are so many benefits because now I don't have to cook breakfast every morning. So I'm currently sitting on my bed procrastinating because in the last couple of weeks I've gone back to doing fasted cardio 3 times a week, and I have it scheduled so that when my kids are in the kitchen cooking breakfast and I don't have to be in there, I can be doing my fasted cardio. And I gotta say, I gotta go outside on my rower and it's cold out there. And it's one of those, it's like the biggest mental battle of my morning. And I know once it's done, I'm going to feel really good, but I do not want to do it. I'm going to put my socks on, I'm going to put my earphones in and just get it done. And then I can go back inside and have breakfast, which is being cooked for me. So it's all right, but yeah. I have to always just think, where is this action going to take me? And I know it's going to take me somewhere where I prefer to be, so that's what makes me do it. But even getting up at 5 a.m. and losing sleep and doing all that is just not as hard as having to do cardio in the cold first thing in the morning. Now, if you want to know what I'm talking about when I keep saying a glass ball priorities, then you should read my post, Block Scheduling for a Busy Mother. I will link it down below. I also have a block schedule routine video coming up, which just is going to show you all about how I can schedule everything that I want to do that's important to me in the day. What's that? You just get out of bed?
Sam, go to bed.
Sam will go to bed, yeah.
Sam, you go to bed.
Huh?
Say go to bed.
I finished my cardio.
Okay.
Just in time.
Sam.
Hmm?
Sam go to bed.
Samuel, go to bed. Yeah.
Sam go to bed.
Yeah. Ready for pancakes? Let's go get pancakes. Come on. So breakfast is being served and he's going to cut it up for the little ones, and I'm going to get started on the next section of my day, which is my kitchen prep, my sourdough prep, and my dinner prep, which I like to get done before school starts. So usually in my mornings, by this time of the morning, I have done several glass ball priorities. I have read my Bible, I have blogged, I have answered emails, I have done either cardio or a workout, I've made my bed, I've gotten ready for the day, and now I'm doing my next priority, which is starting bread for the next day and prepping my dinner if it needs to be done. I make sourdough bread almost every day, probably at least every second day. For the next day, we eat it either at breakfast or at lunch or at dinner, and I will have this rising all day, put it in the fridge overnight and bake it tomorrow morning. What I eat for breakfast is usually eggs. Scrambled eggs, plain eggs, eggs on toast, boiled eggs, some kind of eggs. Today I was feeling a bit bored of eggs, so I did brown butter eggs with soy sauce. My absolute favorite breakfast that I learned when I was a young girl from a Vietnamese neighbor of mine, and I cook this at least once a week. So sorry if it sounds gross, but it's really, really yummy. And in case you're wondering why I have him dressed in a dress, please do not think that I'm into any kind of like gender, I don't know, thing. I'm not. It's just that it's his sister's dress that she outgrew, and it's velvet and thick and really warm, and so I'm not into dressing boys as girls. It's just his pajamas. Good boy. While I'm cleaning and prepping dinner, they are going to listen to a Little House on the Prairie audiobook, and they're going to do their chores, which consists of the dining room, lounge room, cleaning their rooms, hanging washing, and tidying the bathroom. So by the time I have finished cleaning this and prepping my pastry for dinner, the house is pretty much clean. I have been working on this rough puff pastry recipe for a while now, and I think I have perfected it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm pretty sure I've gained like 2 kilos just from eating this pastry most days. And I'm going to be making my leftover chicken pot pie tonight. So that's a recipe that is on my blog if you want to read that. It is super budget friendly and super tasty. It is a huge favorite in our house. And the pastry recipe will be up very soon. I'm just doing a few more trial and errors on it, and it will be up, but it is the pastry that I use on the pot pie recipe. So by now it's around 10:30 I think, so not an extremely early morning. The kids have been up, they've been playing outside, they've been doing their chores, listening to the audiobook. So now we're going to sit down for school. Today it's just my 2 older boys doing school. Charlie, who is my kindergartner, only does school 3 times a week, and today is his play day, so it's just me and the boys. Okay, alright, so I've been busy in my kitchen. Kitchen's clean. Sourdough bread is there and it's ready for its next stretch and fold. I have pasta to cook with James. He's learning how to cook simple meals, so at lunchtime I teach him to cook and he cooks with me. And the boys are sitting down doing their school now, so I'm going to go sit down and do school with them. And I'm not sure what time it is. I think it's around 10:30, so it's not it's pretty much when we usually start school. The little ones are outside playing, which they will come in now and probably cause chaos. School for me always takes around an hour, and it's an hour for me where I am completely distraction free. I have one book in front of me, and that's the book that I take notes in, and I am very careful to not bring my laptop or my phone or even a list or anything. I keep it extremely distraction free. And then what do we do next? We do maths.
Then cursive.
Yep.
Then we do I don't do cursive.
Yeah, well you do your writing. William does his cursive. Then we're going to do building writers today.
What's building writers?
That's William learning to write. Then we do reader, and you do your primer and your flashcards. Is that right? So as part of James's, I would say, extracurricular life skills, he is learning to cook, and his favourite meal of all time is pasta, so he usually asks to cook pasta. So today we are doing a really simple, just tomato and cream sauce based pasta dish, which will be cooked in literally 20 minutes, and he is learning to cook that. When you're teaching kids to cook, you have to be there to monitor their safety, but you just want to let them do it. It does mean that you're going to be eating some chunky meals, maybe eating something a little bit different sometimes, but you have to give them the confidence to learn, give them the confidence to try, keep it to something that they like to cook at first, which is why we do a lot of pasta for James, because he really enjoys it. And so that's how he's going to spend the rest of his school day. I don't think he even finished all of his school today, but I prefer to take the time today to teach him to cook. So we may pick up school this afternoon or we may not. Something that I hope comes through in my morning routine is that I set myself priorities, and they can change from day to day, and they don't really have a set timed schedule. Sometimes I'm up at 5. I try and be up at 5 a.m. at least 3 mornings a week, but since I've been pregnant, I have found that I just get too exhausted if I maintain that every day. So every second day I'm up at 6:30 or 7, which means that while my priorities may change their timing, they don't necessarily change themselves. My mornings are relaxed, the kids are relaxed, and we have things that we move through. We make it fun with music or audiobooks. There's no rigid schedules for me. I am not one of those people. I think I would just fall down depressed eventually if I had to keep myself to this timed schedule. It's just not how I roll. I prefer to make priorities, know what I have to hit that morning, and just work one priority at a time. I find that for me to have this kind of schedule makes me more almost emotionally available to my children. I do not feel tied down to a schedule that I have made in my head. I feel like I'm tied to them. I feel like what they need is what I can fulfill for them, and it doesn't need to be what I need. And especially for my mornings, that's how I like to keep it. For the rest of the day, I can make things a little bit more rigid. So I've got James cooking lunch for me. And William's about to come here and we're going to do school, building riders. Come and sit well. Alright, what are we doing? What does it say? Oh, look at that one. So it says describe with adjectives. Oh, so do you remember what an adjective is?
It's a thing that tells you
Yes, so it's a thing that tells more about,
things.
well, about a person or about something, yeah, isn't that right? So if we want to know what kind of cake it is, if I tell you it's a chocolate cake, what is the adjective?
The chocolate.
That's right, good. Okay, so we're going to do a bit more about describing with adjectives, so let's work on that. Let's have a taste and see what we've got to add, or if it's already good. We'll let the onion cook more, do you think? Yeah, it's a bit crunchy. So we'll let the onion cook a bit more. And then we will, I think it needs some salt and pepper. What do you think? Do you think it needs any more?
It doesn't have much flavour.
It doesn't have much? So what do you think we should add? Maybe some more cheese and some salt and pepper, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so while we're waiting for our sauce to cook on the stove, we're going to do your flash cards. Yeah? Alright, let's go. Start.
A.
Yeah?
A.
Remember, it makes 3 sounds.
S for apple.
Yeah?
And A for baby.
Yeah?
And
Ah for salt. Off for salt. That's that off sound. Because salt is spelled S-A-L-T, so it makes the off sound. Salt. Soda. Okay?
bear.
Yep.
Cat.
K for cat and S for... K for cat and...
C.
S for city.
I already said that.
Oh, sorry. Alright, next one.
D for dog.
D for dog.
F for elephant.
And...
F for fish.
No, F for elephant, 2 sounds.
E for me.
E for me. That's right. Next one.
F for fish.
F for fish and...
G for gorilla.
And... J for Jim. That's right. Okay, so you know all your sounds. So it's time to add some more to the wall. Yes. Pasta is nearly ready. Yeah, it's nearly ready. Careful. Careful. Oh, yeah, cheese. Yummy. Yeah. Yeah, it's nearly ready. Are you hungry? You hungry? It's almost ready. Oh, it'll be too... And so that's lunch being served for me, and that means that the morning is nearly over and we have done school. James has cooked something, I have done my workout, the house is clean, my sourdough is prepped, my dinner is prepped, the kids have played outside, and the afternoon is mine. So that concludes my morning routine. I'm about to sit and eat my lunch. The kids are all sitting at the table eating their lunch, and that's it. That's not really that exciting. That's a very average morning for me, and I'm never really too strict on getting things done by a certain time. I just move through the routine and everyone works, everyone does their jobs, and we're about to conclude the morning with having had school done. The house is clean. I'm ready to start my quiet time routine. The little ones have been playing outside all morning. They're ready to come inside and go to bed. And yeah, it's been a good productive morning. So I'm glad things went pretty smoothly. So I am The Simple Mama. I have a blog if you want to go visit that. I have new blog posts. I have a child training series you can join by email if you like. I have new videos every week on homeschooling, motherhood and homemaking. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.